You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
This is the famous green screen itself. It's on a removable bar that sits in front of all the instruments hanging on the wall, and also this extra equipment, amplifiers, power supplies, etc. that I don't use all that often. I can theoretically take it down completely for company, but that never happens. And of course, it pulls out to make a nice, relatively even green backdrop. Here are the lights that I use. Reflector lights to give a nice diffused light from two different angles to almost completely eliminate shadows, which show up oddly in a green screen. They use 400 watt equivalent LED lamps, and this one on the floor is used to keep the wrinkles from showing up around my feet where the problem occurs the most. And of course, there's my favorite mic for recording vocals. On the other side of the room are a few more instruments, so I can fail to create any vibe I hear in my head. I should probably practice more. And right here is the computer where all the cooking happens. You can see that I'm using Cakewalk for my audio mixing and mastering. It's free at the moment, but that will change soon. And when it requires a subscription, I'll have to see if I stay with it. On the other screen, you'll see Wondershare Filmora, where all the video editing occurs. It works pretty well, especially for the price. Behind the lights, you can see my favorite bass and the tripod where the camera usually sits, as well as some more guitars hanging on the walls. Now, it's a pretty short span across the room, so I'll explain a little bit how that camera works there in such a short space in the next clip. This is the Zoom Q2N 4K, and it has been my favorite camera for everything that I do. You see, I'm not really a photographer, videographer, or video guy in general, so while there are a lot of great video cameras out there that can do a lot more, this one does most of them automatically with just a few preset choices. First off, it has a really good stereo mic with automatic gain control. Then one can choose basic scene settings like outdoor, concert, light, jazz club for darker venues, or the all-inclusive automatic setting. Easy peasy. The camera records in surprisingly clear 4K video and stereo 96K 24-bit audio. In fact, in many of my simpler videos, I'll just use the audio from the camera and not even run it through Cakewalk. One of its biggest strengths is also one of its drawbacks, though. The field of vision settings range from 150 degrees, which is great for recording a group jam session in a room, to around 40 degrees or so. This means that even in a small room like mine, I can still get a crystal clear shot showing my feet up to the head of my upright bass in a room where the camera is only 6 or 7 feet away from me. The downside of this wide field of vision is that if you try to record your performance at, say, an open mic or any place where you're going to be more than 10-15 feet away from the subject is going to be awful small in the field of vision. Even on its narrowest, you're going to get an awful lot of background around your subject. But fortunately, it's 4K video, so you can easily crop out 3/4 of the shot and still have 1080p video. Of course, it never hurts that the camera is only around $200 from Sweetwater at the moment. A bit more if you get the obvious package deals. Now, the first thing that actually went into the recording process is this drum track. I do actually have a drum set and play well enough to at least provide a steady beat as simple as was needed here. But you've seen the size of my room, and it's just a lot easier to let the MIDI do all of the work, especially when the end result is likely to be cleaner and steadier than I could do myself. Then I added a bass track. This is not the bass track that you hear on the finished product, though. It's just for timing. So I sat down with the bass, the chord chart was right in front of me, and I played through the entire song with all of the intros, verses, choruses, bridge, and outro. Together, these gave me a firm timing track that I could send to my Dropbox and play on my phone through an unobtrusive earbud, so all the tracks that followed would have the same timing and arrangement. I made sure to count out 4 beats of the drum, then 4 more beats that would be the drum intro on the finished track before the bass came in. That way, when recording each subsequent track, I could give a timing clap on the camera to sync them all together. That clap makes a huge peak on the waveform that's easy to see and precisely match on the mixer. Then came the takes. So many takes. This being a low-tech operation, I needed to get an entire song correct in one take, so it took several tries before I got all the way through with no mistakes or major differences in timing and arrangement. First, I recorded the acoustic guitar and the vocals at the same time. Then the video of the bass playing and the backing vocals. And finally the electric guitar and backing vocals. For the 3 minutes and 53 seconds of the finished video, there are probably about 2 hours of different takes of video recorded. All of these of course were recorded, not only the video on the camera, but also recorded straight into Cakewalk as a separate track. So then it's just a matter of mixing the audio and the video into a finished product. First, of course, I mixed the audio. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because the people who asked for this video already know enough mixing to do this part, and each have their own software and techniques that they like to use. You probably have your own favorite YouTube mixer that you follow religiously, but I do want to point out that clap that is used to sync everything together. When it comes time to edit the video together, that clap remaining on the audio track provides a point to sync each video track to the audio.
Never knew how much I cared.
Remember how the video recording was made difficult by the fact that I had to get the entire song in one take? Well, the video editing in this one was actually made easier by that fact. The fact that each layer is the full length of the song. That means that once I got each video clip synced up by putting the claps on the same frame, it was just a matter of selecting each track and then selecting the chroma key to the color of the green screen. That turns the screen into transparency, which shows up as black if there's nothing behind it to show through. But if there's another layer behind it, that layer shows through the transparent section. Once the green screen is set, I simply cropped each layer so that nothing outside the green screen was in the shot. This also gave me the opportunity to make the main singer a little larger than the other two by cropping him closer and then scaling it up. Once each layer is chroma keyed and cropped, I just put each person in position on the screen by moving the entire layer, which is smaller than the screen because it's been cropped down. So, while each was in the middle of the shot originally, the bass and electric guitar can be moved off to each side. And by putting the acoustic guitar at the top layer in the editing pane below, it's in front and the other two are behind him. The background is one of the few times that I'm comfortable using AI. I literally asked a free AI site to generate a dingy blues club stage background, and this is the third or fourth image that I got. I liked it, so I deleted the others and imported this photo in the media for a background. It's at the bottom of the list, so of course it's in the back. And that was essentially how the video for my cover of Fever was put together. I hope you enjoyed this little how-to, and I hope it made some sense to you. It made some sense to me. I know that my technique is always improving. I'm always getting better at this, and I know that you are too. So hopefully this will help you on your journey. I look forward to seeing you next time, and don't forget to let me know what you'd like to hear me cover next. Until then, this is Mouse on a Motorcycle. Bye-bye.